When you decide to customize ACT by adding new fields, you may think that this is a daunting task. And if that's the case, why not try modifying an existing field first, just so that you can get the hang of it? Now, ACT comes bundled with 10 extra fields that aren't being used by default. So in this video, I want to show you how you can modify one of the current fields that already exists in your ACT database. You can find these 10 fields on the User Fields tab for any contact record. Since I'm already looking at the detail view for a contact, when I click User Fields at the bottom, you can see these 10 fields. For this video, I'm going to change this first field from User1 to a field named Budget that will be formatted into a currency value. To begin, I'm going to click the Tools button in the left navigation, and then I'm going to click the Design Tools filter. Now I'm going to click Define Fields. This will lock the database and will require all other users to log out. So it's really best to perform these steps when nobody else at your company is logged into ACT. When the Define Fields window opens, I want to make sure that I'm viewing fields from my contacts table. So I'll choose contacts from this drop-down list. And then down below, if I scroll, I'm going to find the User1 field. This is the field I'm going to edit. So we'll click it to highlight it, and then click Edit Field under the Field Tasks section. First, we're going to edit the name of this field. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to name it Budget. Now, this is the name that will appear in the database, but not on the screen itself. I recommend using the same name for both the database and the label, and I also recommend keeping it simple, yet distinct from all of your other database fields. Next, I need to choose a field type. This isn't going to be a character field anymore. And one of the great things about ACT is the variety of built-in field types that you can use. Most fields will be of a character type, which allows you to type any combination of letters and numbers, but there are a lot of other field types available here. If you want to learn more about the field types, check out the Help area to get a complete list and explanation of each of these types. Now, because this is a budget field, which involves money, I'm going to switch to the currency type. ACT gives me a warning that says any data that's already in this field might be lost because I'm changing the field type. Now, I know I've never used the User1 field before, so I'm okay with this. Allow blank is checked by default. This means that the field is not required, and I'm going to leave it like that. I don't want this to be a required field. However, I do want to generate history. If anybody changes the budget for any of my customers, I want to know who did it and when. So we're going to generate history for any changes to this field. I'm going to leave the rest of these boxes blank, and I'm going to click Next. Now, for customized field behavior, I can choose the number of decimal places to the left and to the right of the decimal. Now, I'm not concerned with cents, so I'm just going to leave that at 0. And then for the decimal places to the left, I'm going to reduce this to about 5 or 6 because my budgets aren't going to be that large. That's all I need to do, so I'm going to click Finish. Now, if I scroll down, the budget field now appears in my list of fields. And if I scroll further down, we'll see that the User1 field no longer appears here because I've reappropriated it into the budget field. So let's take a look at this new field. We're going to close the Define Fields screen to unlock our database. And then I'm going to go to the Contacts area. I'm going to look up one of my favorite contacts. His name is Ryan Wheaton. And I'll go to his detail view. Now, on this tab, we can still see that all 10 of these user fields exist, but just remember that we haven't changed the layout yet to make this label reflect the field that's next to it. But to show that this is indeed the budget field, when I enter any data here, it won't let me type in letters, but if I type in some numbers and then tab out of that field, it adds my currency type to the value in the field. So all we need to do now is change the label so that this says budget instead of User1. To do this, we'll go back to the Tools area, and I'm going to use the Design Tools filter to find the Design Contact Layout option. I'll click that to open the Layout Designer. From here, I'm going to go to my User Fields tab, where we can see this User1 field is now the budget field, but I need to change this label to the left of it. So I'm going to double-click that label, and I'm just going to type in budget, and that's it. I can worry about resizing this and changing fonts later, but for now I'm just going to click Save. And then from the File menu, I'll choose Exit. Now when I go back to my contact for Ryan Wheaton, and I go to the user fields tab, I can see that this label has now been changed from user 1 to budget.